Hello BFFs! Thanks for watching the Bunny Fox Nguyen channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and subscribe. In today's video, I will be sharing a beginner's guide into starting your own magazine. I not only collect magazines, but I make my own as well. So in this, I'll give you some tips on how to start your own cool fashion magazine. If you are a magazine lover, if you grew up kind of romanticizing print, I'm here to let you know it is not impossible. I do this from home, okay? People think I do it from a cool office, but nope, I've always been working from home. And part of what helps me in creating a magazine is looking back at previous publications and prints and advertisement that came before me to get a stronger editorial sense. So this is one of those, you're not going to want to miss this video. I'm going to try to be as helpful as possible. And that's it. Let's get into it. Hello. I thought I would do things a little bit differently today and try to create a how-to video. This will be a beginner's guide to making a magazine. I feel like my area of expertise is actually within the editorial world. I wear a lot of different hats as an editor-in-chief, as the founder of the Isis Nicole Magazine, also known as the Mag. We're in no way like a super major platform. I don't have any tips and tricks on how to go viral. That is not my skill set, but I can offer you some insight onto, how to start your own magazine if you are someone looking to make your own print and want to know how someone like myself, an indie magazine, can get that done, get that off the ground, and then you kind of like figure it out from there. So step number one, I would say, is to determine your theme and how often you would like to print. For myself, the issue 1 of the Isis Nicole magazine was themed inspired, and what I ended up doing with that was pretty much creating the content. I knew I didn't know too many people, so I had to get creative in order to produce content. I got film cameras and sent them out to each feature and had them create a photo diary. So it's like, okay, thinking, problem solving. I'm not a photographer, nor do I have photo access. How do I get access to photography that is original? Oh, aha. Get film cameras, ship those out, lay out the ethos of that, and kind of go from there. So that's one way to get started if you do not have access to photography. But these days you could create pictures using an iPhone if you want. They're high quality enough. So there is that. Step 2, I would say, would be to research your print options. Thinking back to when I was in the very early stages of making the magazine, I went to local printers in Ohio, and of course they were all great and stuff, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for in terms of binding, how I wanted to bind the print. I have some copies next to me here, but yeah, I like a spine where you can write down your the text, have the text available, and they offered staple bound editorial option, and I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't trying to have a zine feel. I wanted more of a magazine feel, but also having to think about the cost of shipping and things like that. For me, what works best is cloud printing. I like the option to, let them handle all that stuff on the back end, and you just, you order as you go. That way I don't have a bunch of inventory just kind of sitting at home and figuring out how to get rid of these magazines. While that could be helpful, that might put some pep in your step if you see a bunch of things that you need to sell. You might, that might be more of your thing where you buy in bulk. There are magazine editors who buy in bulk and then stock in each store. But yeah, that is not within my budget. So what's within my budget is cloud printing. That's the option that I use. But again, just do your research on what is the best print fit for you. This is step 3. in the beginner's guide, okay? Start thinking of your contributors and their roles. Again, my first issue, that was all me. And over time, I started to get submissions, and then from there, I started to pitch to other artists. So in your journey, in your magazine making process, I think it's extremely important to start thinking of your contributors and the role that you want them to play. Also, being transparent. Is there a budget? Is there not a budget? Laying things out as early as possible so people can know what I will and will not do, and what I will and will not gain from this experience. If you cannot offer monetary things, that's fine. But just be as transparent as possible. Sometimes people are willing to do things for portfolio building. Sometimes people are looking for pay. So, you just, as long as you make it very clear, speak in plain terms, clear terms, write it down, go via email, do whatever you have to do, but figure out that role so that everyone's expectations can be laid out as soon as possible. Number 4 would be to think of your budget. That is a really hard part, at least for me. Again, I don't have all the tricks on how to make money from making a magazine. I know on TV shows, they make it look so glamorous and easy to do, but it's actually very difficult because a lot of the times, when you reach out to businesses or brands to pay for advertising space, a lot of the times you will get pushback just because they can find influencers who will, push their product for free. So it might take a while, unless you already have those kind of connections, it might take a while to have a budget. One of the things that I would do starting small was reach out to indie brands. So indie accessory lines, indie makeup brands who have a very small budget, but it's a start just to start building your portfolio. Also, my fake it till you make it thing, I used to take American Apparel ads and just put it in there and hope that people are like, oh snap, she's with American Apparel, let me go ahead and spend some dollars over here. But it's not I don't even know if that's a appropriate way to do it. It was just something that I did back in the day. So, don't apply that advice. I'm just sharing what I would do as far as faking it till you make it. We're still figuring out how to make it. I've made it in my 9 to 5. I love my freaking job. I'm so happy about this, and that's why I feel qualified to give you some tips and stuff, because those skills have come in handy, not just for myself, but contributing to a large tech company. So yeah, that's why we're here. This is number 5, raise brand awareness. So, as you're pitching to brands, you're also introducing yourself, defining what your editorial is all about. And yeah, that's a pretty fun process. It's never set in stone. Once you define what your brand is, it kind of continues to evolve if you're doing things right, to me. 1 year it might be this, and then you just it starts to grow each issue, what your brand is. So yeah, building brand awareness using social media. There's a ton of apps. There's a ton of apps that I don't use actually, that I should be getting with the times, but I still use my classics, which is Tumblr and Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, of course. And then also building brand awareness means pitching to press. So when you're pitching to press, I'm trying to relax a little bit. When you're pitching to press, just kind of write down a list of your favorite magazines. Back in my day, I used to pitch to Nylon. I would pitch to The Cut. I don't think we ever made it on The Cut though. That's still a goal of mine. I know I talk a lot of shit about Vogue, but that would be cool to be in that institution. I'm not there yet. But yeah, write a list of your magazines. Another strategy or tip would be just go to the press outlets that you're looking to feature on, that you're looking to pitch yourself to, introduce your story. Go to their website or their Twitter pages and see the contributing writer's contact and just go straight to them. That's probably one of the easiest ways to do it, instead of just going to their broad whatever it is at magazine.com. Look for the specific writers who can cover that story that you can pitch to, Also with pitches, and it's important to remember to try to be, as careful as possible, protect your brand, treat your own brand with integrity. So figure out what you want to pitch that you're okay with possibly getting taken. But people do have, there's threads and stuff of weird experiences when pitching. Timely stories do well when you pitch. Make sure you have your story, what that story is about, and why. Why are we writing about this? Oh, we're writing about this because you had this magazine coming out and this gathering. So, that's an idea. And number 6, this is my final tip, is of course, raising money. Raising money is a challenge. How I do it is I work. And this is my first time actually having a corporate job. My first real job is actually at a tech company. I'm loving it, especially working from home. I feel like I have the bandwidth to still do everything that I need to do, plus grow within that network. And it's pretty incredible. I'm really grateful for the path that led me to where I am now, and I'm super excited about the future and seeing where it continues to take me. But yeah, what was I saying? Raise money. So I work to raise money. There are artists who do go into debt. I don't advise that. Sometimes you do feel pressured to do certain things. And also, it might not be pressure. You might just feel, it's within your power to make a difference. You're trying to make a difference in the creative community. Everyone does what works for them. But for me, it doesn't work to go broke. Especially with a lot of the artists that I work with. A lot of the times they come from wealth, they come from prosperity, they come from stability and things like that a lot of the times. So, here I am, new in the workforce. Prior to my tech job, I was a nanny and off and on unemployed because I was always looking for work, trying to find my way into the editorial world full time, and it just never happened for whatever reasons. And it's fine past that. But yeah, now having money to save, I'm very careful about what it is that I will do. Of course, I don't want to be unfair to anybody, but with my project, it's more so portfolio building and networking and things like that. There's no money that's being, no one's rolling in the dough and things like that. It's not a glamorous thing. It's about work at this point, more so than survival. But if you are doing this under the condition of survival, then yeah, you should really, maybe raising money should actually be number 1 in the priority so that you can take care of what you need to take care of if you're looking to take care of yourself and to take care of your contributors. I'm lucky that most of the contributors volunteer to do these things because it's portfolio building. But there are things here and there that it's nice to cover, the travel, or make sure that there are snacks on set and things like that, studio fees. But yeah, determining your budget. So sometimes big projects in our cases will be the cover stories. Yeah, just figuring that out. People start, I want to just say GoFundMe, but I know that's not what I'm thinking of. Crowdfunds, I think that's the word that I'm looking for. I have never been successful in creating those things, or not creating it. I have been successful in creating those things, but I have not been successful in completing it. I've never seen my goal follow through. That would be amazing though, if I could. In my case, it's been working, having to work, having to go to my job and set aside some monies to, make a dream happen. Some people, do the crowdfunding with GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Patreon, things like that. So you could probably research that. And again, with brands, sometimes you get lucky if you are able to get a brand on board to do advertorial where, you use their products and incorporate it into the editorial, and they pay for that advertisement in a storytelling format. It's really challenging, but I believe in you. You could do it. And what's helpful in doing that is creating a media kit. How can I quickly summarize what a media kit is? It's you're defining your brand and what you can offer, what services that you offer and have offered, what services you have completed. A lot of the times, you can see media kits to major magazines and kind of like figure it out how to tailor it for yourself, what makes sense for your own magazine. So that's it. I hope that this was a helpful how-to. If you have any specific questions about making an independent magazine, let me know in the comments. Oh, also, what makes me qualified? Clearly, I'm qualified because I don't only make my own magazine, I freaking collect magazines, okay? I have suitcase of magazines. I ask my friends when they go out of the country, if you're visiting London, please stop by this store so I can grab this magazine. When I went to Tokyo, made sure to take some magazines back with me. I love editorials. I grew up reading magazines. It was like shoved down my throat with content. So, seeing people from Moesha at Vibe magazine to freaking How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, like 13 going on 30. Editorials was one of those glamorous things that I fell into that trap, into that fairy tale. And ever since have been trying to make that fairy tale a dream come true for myself. Some people dream of weddings, which I am getting married in March, so I got that too. But no, my dream was magazine related. So that's my fairy tale. Why I am in love though. Thank you, David. So yeah, anyway, that is all. I hope that this was a helpful video. I realized I forgot one major thing, that Claire Macbeth, I believe, of the editorial magazine. I did meet her back in New York at one of her pop-ups, and something that stuck with me that she said, because I'm like, how are you able to make money from a magazine? Just very straight up. And she's like, I don't make money through the magazine, it's through grants. So I forgot to mention, applying for grants is also an option doing your research, which in my previous video, I talked about applying for a grant with V-files and they were being a little funny. So, but grants is an option to apply for. And merch, that was the other thing that she mentioned to me, is selling merch, which is something that we are now applying to the In magazine. So there are ways to get creative, and the more things are becoming a lot more accessible. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I added those two things as well. I forgot earlier. And yep, that's all. Okay, see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.